Hey everyone, and welcome back to On a Water Break. This is the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. This week we are talking about an instrument that rarely gets the spotlight, but without it, the music would collapse. You guessed it, it's the tuba. We'll also find out what made Nicole.
And if you are this taken by a marching band, you need to go on tour with a drum corps.
And why Trish said
he was a cadet. He was in Pride of Cincinnati, Field of View. He was in Patriots. He was in a lot of really good world-class programs.
All this and more on this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Hey everyone, it's Chris. We have a great episode this week. We have a special guest who is an accomplished author ready to tell us about the importance of the tuba. But before we see who's on the sidelines this week, go and subscribe on your favorite listening app, write us a review, share this with a friend, and do you have a question or a good topic you want to talk about? Email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form now for you to fill out if you want to be a guest. Check out our link in the bio. All right, so who's on the sideline this week? Trish, my good friend Trish.
I know. Chris and I go way back, but yet we have not done a podcast together, and I'm super excited. Chris and I were brigadiers back in the day together.
That's right.
We were. We hung out a bunch of times because he was sort of in our New York, New Jersey crew.
Yeah.
So it's great to be on a podcast with you.
I love it. Like old times.
It is.
How is your marching band season going?
It's going really well. Both of my teams, I have one that I'm with full time, Northern Valley Old Japan, and I have another one that I'm with only on Thursday nights. The Thursday night crew had a competition this past Saturday. They won. So that was exciting.
Nice.
And the full-time team comes back out this Saturday in Wayne Valley. So I'm super excited about that. All good over here.
Fantastic. Oh, and by the way, I will be judging on the 25th of October in Hillsborough, New Jersey.
I will be in Ridge. I wonder if my other team will be there. I will definitely find out.
Yeah.
That would have been cool to see you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
And we also have Nicole. Nicole.
What's up, Chris?
It was so good to see you for like 32 seconds.
In California?
In California this summer while I was announcing the drum corps show. Caddying was great. I loved it. I love that show so much.
Thank you.
How are we doing?
Doing well, man. Like just doing the judge thing. Literally, I went up to Arkansas late. It was a late assignment, but it was a Music for All show. Great show.
Nice.
Went up there and saw some bands, did the thing. But I did the weekend beforehand go to the Collegiate Marching Band Festival that was in Allentown.
Yes.
Man, that was cool.
Nice.
And also I never did the college marching band thing. So seeing all those bands come up and just do their shows just for giggles.
Yeah.
Right.
But like going out there and just having fun. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. And then they still wanted to like do their hype stuff afterwards. It was like 90 degrees.
Yeah.
It's fall, y'all.
It is fall, y'all. It's also Bandtober, but
Yes. Check in on your friends, please. It's Bandtober. Check in on your marching arts friends.
I judged a show last weekend and it was so cold. It was in Southern Virginia and I had to wear a sweatshirt at the start of the show. It was amazing.
I'm jealous of you.
A little bit.
I'm jealous of that fall weather.
Also joining us on the sideline this week, we are honored to have National Book Critic Circle award-winning author and journalist, Sam Quinones. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing great, Chris. It's really great to be on with you guys. This is wonderful. Here's my books. Perfect Tuba.
It is so great to have you on the show. We're going to talk about your book here in just a second, but
Right.
We do have a recurring segment on this show for all of our new guests called the 32 Count Life Story. You
Right.
tell us everything about your life from beginning today in 32 counts. This might be harder than
that. About from what I've seen your show several times, and it seems like that's a metronome count about 125 or something like that.
pretty good.
130.
Pretty good.
That's
Yep.
pretty fast. That's pretty fast, man.
Oh no, you got this. You got this. All right.
Well,
Are you ready?
My best shot. We'll see how he goes.
All right, here we go. Can we get the med up?
Just tell me when to start shouting.
And you're in. Go.
I'm from California, reporter for 38 years, crime reporter for a long time, covered 200 murders, crack gangs, moved to Mexico where I wrote my first 2 books, came back to work for the LA Times where, among other things, I wrote 2 stories of the popularity of the tuba in Mexican LA, left the Times, wrote 2 books about our national opioid epidemic, OxyContin, heroin, fentanyl, and meth. And finally, after that, the Perfect Tuba, which is about tuba players and band directors because I wanted a change.
Dude.
How'd I do?
You did it.
Box 5, man. Like, first place.
I'm cross-eyed by now.
Most of our guests will go past, will play past the ending here, but you nailed it. That was great.
Don't know how I did that, but I'm glad to hear it.
So let's talk about your book here. So this is called The Perfect Tuba,
Correct.
Forging Fulfillment from the Bass Horn, Band, and Hard Work.
Right.
So you've written powerfully about community and meaning in America, from Dreamland to The Least of Us in your nearly 4 decades of journalism.
Yep.
What drew you to write this book?
Well, as I said, when I was at the LA Times, I wrote 2 stories about the popularity of tuba in Mexican LA and about the banda world, banda music and all of that. And tuba is a huge, huge, important instrument and all that. Okay, so after those 2 stories were done, for reasons I cannot properly describe to you, Chris, I just began interviewing tuba players, mostly because I think I found them to be people who were doing what they were doing because they loved it. It was not from any motivation of wealth or fame or acclaim. They were just doing it because you love it. And generally speaking, as a journalist, I have learned that if you follow people who truly love what they're doing, you're going to find some great, great stories. And so I began to do that. At the same time, I was embarking on the books that you see behind me, the Dreamland book, which is about the opioid epidemic, and then The Least of Us, which is about fentanyl and methamphetamine spreading across the country. I was done with those books and I wanted to do something more. I wanted to get away from the topic of addiction. I want to get away from people trying to find happiness through something they buy, but instead work on things within them, develop their own capabilities, their own talents and skills, and learn through that what they were capable of.
Yeah.
And my agent said, you should see what you could do about this tuba project you've had in the back of your computer for so long. And I thought, actually, it's a great idea. And so I just began to interview tuba players again. And the project just came alive. It was beautiful. The stories were the main thing. But along the way, too, I began to include band directors because I realized that band directors and tuba players have a lot in common. You can't really name a tuba player. Most band directors are not famous either. They're doing it with enormous amounts of hard work, huge amounts of work. It's just incredible, the band directors that I got to know. Why? Well, they love it. They live to see the light go on in the eyes of their kids when their kids get what they're doing. And they're about community enhancers, right? You cannot have a football team without a band. You cannot have a band without a tuba player. They bring both the band director and the tuba player kind of bring the band together, right? And to me, that was a very, very important thing because addiction is really about isolation. It's really, you're using your dope. You don't give a crap who is, anybody, any other relationship doesn't matter unless they can help you find your drugs. And so to me, finding people who were about community enhancement was especially important. And then also it got to some of the essential habits and customs and values that I think are so important in sustaining community. Hard work, postpone gratification, discipline, right? Focus in a time of just incessant babbling distraction. It's about quiet focus. So the band in general, tuba playing for sure, is about all of these kinds of things that help us as a country sustain community, which is the main bulwark against drug addiction. And then along the way, of course, you are finding people who are discovering their purpose.
Right.
And
right.
Addiction is a life is kind of like fill my void with drugs. This is different.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting. Yeah. The studio audience is always so good.
It's fabulous.
They're the best.
They're really good.
The ego boost. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that you bring all that up because, like, after reading the book, I noticed that there's a theme of people striving for mastery in obscurity.
Yes.
Why does that idea of working hard without fanfare resonate so deeply with you?
That's a really good question. And perhaps it's because we live in a culture in which the only kind of endeavor that's worthwhile is one that you get massive applause for. And the truth is, that's kind of an empty pursuit. It's very much like trying to find happiness from something you buy, like a piece of heroin or fentanyl or whatever. To me, I loved it because also most tuba players do not want initially to play the tuba. They are usually late. Are usually late for band class on the first day of 7th grade. All the other instruments are taken, trumpet, drums, whatever. And so those who stick with it, the reason they stick with it is through hard work, they come to develop their skills and they learn. This is very important, I thought. They learn what they're capable of. And when you can teach a kid especially a kid who's thought, I'm no good at anything, nobody really values me. When you can teach a kid, this is something you are good at, I'm telling you, that's the best antidote to drug addiction you could possibly find. And
Absolutely.
So it's a great question. Oh, please. No, but I mean, that's kind of why I wanted to find people who found purpose, even though they weren't going to get much acclaim, because that's the narcotic of our culture last numerous years, seemed to me.
Yeah. Well, and so because of that, later on in the book, you talk about the Roma High School, Texas high school band program, but that was such a powerful story.
Thank you.
What did you see in that community that captures the heart of the book? Well,
I found the band director, Al Cortinas, who himself was tuba instructor, but understood, it's important for your readers to know that Roma is a tiny town on the border with Mexico in Texas. No one in Texas knows where Roma, Texas is, okay? It's really isolated and far away. That's one. And yet it's competing in band competitions with the wealthy suburbs of Dallas, the wealthy tech suburbs of Austin and Houston, and this tiny town, 11,000 people. How did that happen? And the way it happened was that one band director who believes deeply in the salvation power of band, his own life was saved because of band, he believes in it, was in another district years before, and he understood that two things were happening in band he had to save his kids from. One was the Mexican drug cartels were expanding, and a lot of the kids right there on the border were getting involved in that because it's easy money and all that. The other was that Texas band in competition was changing so that bands were no longer just judged on like a number system, 1 to 5, how well they march, that kind of thing. They were now judged as pitted against each other, and kind of one would win, one would come in first, second, third, that kind of thing. He thought that pretty soon his bands would never be able to compete if they didn't get much better
Yep.
And that would mean that if they weren't much better, that they wouldn't keep kids. And then he would lose out in this very desperate competition against the drug cartels, because after all, the cartels were offering money and trucks and all the rest. And what was he offering? Hard work, postponed gratification,
Yeah, all the things.
He institutes this system in Roma, Texas, that these are kids who can barely afford instruments and cannot afford music lessons. And he institutes a system that the district very wisely goes along with, investing in many more band directors so that each director can be a teacher as well as a marching band instructor. So you have one teacher who teaches all the kids in the district from 6th to 12th grade in, say, the clarinet. And then there's one for the saxophone. And then there's one for the French horn. And then there's one for drums and the tuba and all that. And through that, he is able to recognize and then nourish and cultivate the talents, the dormant talents that were there in those kids that was not being developed. And it's through that, over the years, that this tiny town has been able now to compete head to head with, again, the districts in Austin, the districts in Dallas. It's a little bit, I don't know if you've seen the movie Stand and Deliver that was about the East Los Angeles math teacher. Very much like that. It's like Stand and Deliver for the band world. But I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, it's a great story.
In your researching and writing with the Texas bands, did you have a chance to go see a Texas marching band competition?
Oh, I sure did. I was there at the finals at the Alamo Dome football stadium in 2023, 5A.
Oh,
Nice.
dang.
Yeah, it was, here's the thing. I had never, as I said to you earlier, I don't play the tuba, and I was never in marching band in my high school. And it was a world that was kind of foreign to me. I never really paid it much attention. And so now I'm out there looking at it, trying to understand it. I thought it was fabulous. I thought there were some things wrong with it we could talk about later, but it was this, what I thought was amazing was I saw these bands from the Leander School District in near Austin, for example. The top 3 bands to win that year were all from that one district.
They always are. I used to teach in Texas. They always are.
Yeah, right. And here is Little Roma. You know what was cool, Chris? This one was great. A week after that show, on Facebook, I see that someone has circulated a map of Texas, each with 12 stars on it. Each star is a high school that was a finalist in that competition a week before. And see, for me, this was enormously helpful because it was exactly why I wanted to go see this, tell this story.
Yeah.
So the stars there were 6 around Dallas, Fort Worth, right in the suburbs.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
There were 4 around Austin, Leander, and maybe one other, I think. There was 1 near Houston. And then you could miss it very easily, but all the way down at the very bottom of the map was this little star almost down to the Gulf of Mexico, and there was Roma.
There it is.
Yeah. And to me, it didn't really matter. They came in, I think, 10th out of 12. I thought, but here's the thing about band. When you place way too much focus on winning, there's a story that goes, the band directors asked, how'd your band do this year? And the band director goes, too early to tell. Talk to me in 10 years. Band is about winning later.
Yeah.
It's what those kids end up doing. And in fact, I ended up interviewing kids who had been part of the Roma team, the band, in 2003. So it was 20 years later. And they were all, they were doing wonderfully well. The entire low brass section, I interviewed all of them from that one year. Many of them were band directors. Others were involved in, one guy was a paramedic. So this was a district where the dropout rate was very, very high, yet the graduation rate at the school among the band seniors was like 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. We have long said that kids that stay in band go on to do great things later on in life.
Absolutely.
and band makes you smarter. You score 10 to 15% higher on tests. It uses both sides of your brain at the same time. And
Right.
it is a language that you will keep with you your entire life. Just, music is a language just like Spanish or French or German or Japanese. It is a universal language. They could travel all over the world, go play with someone that doesn't speak their language, and they could still be able to communicate. So absolutely.
One of the things, I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, but I have come to try to estimate what percentage of the American population was once in band, either junior high, high school, or college. And I have to think, I don't know, I'm surely biased because I'm looking for it, but it seems to me like a third or something like that.
I think it's very high. Every time you ask someone who is like a celebrity right now, they have all gone back to like, oh yeah, when I was in high school, I used to be in band. So it's very high.
Yeah, and I found in along the border there, city councilmen, engineers, lawyers, dentists, doctors, they all and speaking at my conferences, I do a lot of speaking on drug trafficking and all that. Judges, I met a number of judges who were in band. Of course, we're talking 30, 40 years ago now, but it's a remarkable thing. And that's what brought me to this, which is that you've got so many values and skills and habits that are inculcated in band. And it's about developing those skills that really sustain community. It's such an important thing.
Absolutely. 100%. If you could leave listeners with one image or sound that captures the soul of this book, what would it be?
Well, I think it would probably be, let me think. That's a really good question, Chris. I think it would be the sound of one of the so-called perfect tubas. There's two tubas in this world that are considered perfect.
I was hoping you were going to say this.
They're both owned by the Chicago Symphony.
Yep.
Both built in the 1930s by the York Musical Instrument Company of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and both considered the holy grail of tubas by all these tuba players. Like, unbelievable. It's got the reason they're so well thought of is because they are the perfect community enhancers. The symphony, Chicago Symphony brass sound, is world famous in good part because of these tubas played for the last 80 years by two guys,
right.
Arnold Jacobs first, and then now Gene Picorni. But more than that, it's a sound of the way I use it in the book, as you know, if you read the book, is that the perfect tuba, it becomes a metaphor. It's a sound for finding something in your life, each of your lives. All those people listening to us now, band could be a big part of it, obviously, but doesn't need to be. Tuba playing could be a big part of it, but doesn't need to be. I used it as this way of saying the way we best find our way forward and develop a real strong, solid personal lives is finding something that gives our lives purpose and fulfillment. Right. And the only way we get there is hard work, is attention to detail, focus, and all the rest, right?
Exactly.
And so it's really the sound. The perfect tuba could be a police officer who wants to be a great cop, a guy who has a landscaping business, wants to be really good at that. It's finding that thing that you want to do more than anything else. And when you find it and you develop it, drugs are like this pointless thing you don't want to have anything to do with. So the sound of the perfect tuba is both one of those tubas from Chicago, but it's also the sound of people finding their purpose in life and finding a way forward.
Perfect. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So last question before we move on to our next segment. After completing this project and all the research you've done about the tuba, has tempted you to actually pick up the tuba and play it?
No, it has not.
I'd see. You're missing a golden opportunity, man.
I know. I tried, but I'm too old for it. And I tried to play one of those famous tubas in Chicago.
I'm so jealous, by the way.
They're enormous. They're C tubas. They're just gigantic. It feels very much like you have a linebacker sitting on your lap, right? You know?
Wow.
And it's big. And also it feels, I mean, I swear to God, man, it felt like almost life-threatening to make a sound. Like I would have to blow so hard, like I'd have a heart attack or a stroke or something. In
Ugh.
fact, the one sound that I was able to produce sounded very much like your stomach growling when you haven't had enough to eat. You know, it's like embarrassingly bad. Look, I wanted to write about, I think this book achieved exactly what I wanted to write about, which was people not searching for happiness from something they buy, some piece of crap drug on the corner or anything else. We don't find happiness from stuff that we buy. We find happiness from stuff that we develop from within, right? That beautiful cold air that produces from this horrible little sound of a lips on metallic mouthpiece. You go, it sounds awful. It goes through the tuba, bounces, ricochets, is tried and tested, long straightaways, turn, and it comes out the bell. This gorgeous, brilliant, beautiful, bone rattling sound.
Yes.
To me, that, man, I wanted to write about, that's life. If you think about it, we stumble, we trip, we don't do things well, but eventually we get good enough at something that we just are able to really make a mark. Whether or not anyone pays any attention, another question. But to me, that's what I wanted to achieve with this book, exalting two players and band directors and band kids and all that. Kids who, here's the thing, we've all heard about the sports metaphor. Oh, all the value of sport. When I was doing this book, I used to play sports in high school as a basketball player. Oh, sports are great, competition, all that stuff. It's true. But as I was doing this book, I realized actually the values that they're talking about are being lived by those kids up in the bleachers, right?
Exactly.
That's the point. And I did that with this book. I'm very proud of it. And it was totally unexpected. I did not expect to say half of the things that I'm telling to you 2 years ago when I started it, but it grew on you. And that's the beauty of journalism, man.
Well, it was absolutely fantastic. Nicole, you had a question?
Yeah, I was just going to say, listen, if you are this taken by a marching band, you need to go on tour with a drum corps.
I have been around the drum corps.
You talk about hard work and like you're putting your whole into it. Like you sign up to like, hey, take me wherever for
2 weeks.
Yeah, just 2 weeks.
Put him 2 weeks on tour. Oh my God, the book he could write.
Oh man,
Right. Exactly.
I may now go back to writing about crime. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure this out. But right now, I'm not thinking about what I'm going to do next. I'm just living this very weird idea that a guy who cannot play a note on the tuba and was never in band can write a book exalting both of those things and the qualities that both of those activities instill in young people. After writing about addiction, degrading addiction to drugs for 12 years, I needed this. This is what I needed more than anything right now.
It's a testament to you as a journalist, because reading the book, you would never know that you don't play an instrument, you never played one, and you were never in high school band. The way that you write connects to at least me as a musician, as someone that's been around the block. You're saying all the words that the musicians would say. You're talking about aspects of the instrument that we complain about. You're all the different things. You captured that, and so you sounded just like one. You sound like one of us. So technically, you're part of the band.
My man.
So I'd just like to say, before we move on to the next segment here, that this book, really, fans, this book is a reminder that greatness doesn't always sit in the spotlight. Sometimes it hums in the background, steady and essential, like the sound of a tuba holding everything together.
Beautifully said.
You can find The Perfect Tuba wherever books are sold. And to learn more about Sam and his work, you can go to Sam Quinones at samquinones.com. So
right, that's my website, samquinones.com. Very easy to find, believe me.
Go check them out. Okay, so we want to take this time to preview some amazing episodes and bonus content we have going on. So we have the October 4th the Collegiate Marching Band Festival. Nicole and Woody give us the scoop on the Collegiate Festival held in Allentown, PA, along with Kelly Grumble from Vivace Productions. And then on September 28th, we have the Symbols, Costumes, and Color Wheels. Liam Reynolds joins Jackie, Trish, Grantis, and Emily to explain the world of symbol lines. There's a book for you, Sam. Let's talk about the world of marching symbol lines.
Yes,
Plus,
I still don't understand what they are.
Okay. Well, listen to the podcast and you'll find out.
There we
Plus
go.
a look at colors and uniform designs. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
Alrighty, so hey, why don't we see what's happening in the news this week? So what's going on in the marching arts news? Love it. Love it. Who wants to go first? Let's have Nicole.
Okay.
Nicole, what you got?
Perfect. So we've been talking a lot about, truly living out your dream. And we've been talking about Kenny at LSU. We all remember Kenny, right?
Yeah.
The 6-year-old that went back to March. And he's so famous now. But
playing the tuba, mind you.
Playing the tuba.
Never too young.
But this is truly a time to go live out your dreams. 58-year-old horn player at NC State, it's the power sound of the South, is playing her mellophone. It's Lois Rogge. Lois started playing in high school. Well, actually, Lois did play in high school, mellophone, mind you, but started going to school at NC State last year. Her career is in accounting, so she went and she was doing her master's degree in accounting. And she decided that since she had 2 kids that were in marching band in high school, that she wanted to go back and do it in college. So now she's marching. Yeah. Lois.
What a great story. That's a fantastic story.
She is basically doing everything with them. It was an empty nester, so she's got 2 kids. They're both in college. And she was like, hey, it's just me and my dog at home right now. So what do I do?
Uh-oh.
So she was like, hey, let me just go ahead and do these. Or get in here. She had to audition, though. It wasn't like, hey, I want to sign up and do band. When she started, I know, right? Like she basically, to get ready for her audition, she would, you'll find this funny. Her mellophone was in her attic for a couple of years. And then she had taken it out of the attic and actually put it up on the wall as decoration. So she took it off the wall and started practicing for like 5 minutes a day or so. And then those 5 minutes a day turned into several hours a day. And then she even said that when she went to go do her audition video, that she put on a tank top so she could look more athletic and like she was in shape, so they wouldn't be like, no, you can't do it. And I'm like, oh man, that's funny that, you know, that's the way you want to do it. Couple more things too, like when she has a couple of friends, excuse me, her son is has friends in her section. So like,
Wow.
Cool.
yeah, I'm like,
Cool.
this is really cool. I love the fact that she's like, oh, I don't care. I mean, and she also does contribute the fact to when they started band camp, like she's a runner. So if she wasn't running, this wouldn't be happening.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yep. And she loves it. She's just like, they have videos of her, you know, just dancing, you know, through the tunnel with the rest of the marching band. She's literally living her best life.
That's fantastic.
I
Yeah.
love
Great story.
that.
What a great story. Go,
Yeah,
go.
beautiful.
Love it.
We need to bring her on the pod sometime.
Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
for sure.
Oh, you definitely
Trish
did.
Dish, what we got?
We have a story about the Alabama State honeybees. They're
World famous.
they're well-known plus-size dance team that performs with the mighty Marching Hornets. They became the target of an offensive remark. As the honeybees left the field after their performance, Florida A&M band announcer Joe Bullard called them the new face of Ozempic.
What are we doing?
The crowd reacted with shock and disgust. I'm glad they reacted with shock and disgust.
Well, of
and it
course
weren't
they-
some obnoxious like sports fans like, yeah, that's true. So like,
Does that happen very often?
No,
Where you get an opposition,
how would
a
react?
competitor band like that?
not in HBCU environments, because like the honeybees are famous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like everyone knows who they are. And here's the other thing too. They know they're plus size. That's
Yeah.
part of the allure of what they do.
Right.
But to have that kind of a remark made, like honestly, I'm pretty sure if they have not fired that guy yet, they need to.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well,
Yep.
the Alabama State University president made a statement, Dr. Quentin T. Ross Jr. He described the words as short-sighted and demeaning and stressed that competition cannot come at the expense of student dignity, which is a lot of what we've been talking about on this podcast. And, you know, these girls are putting their all in, and like, you know, like we talked about, maybe these dance routines are their perfect tuba. You know what I mean? And now, you know, to be coming off the field and to hear an announcer say that's just not cool.
Yeah. No.
That is definitely not cool.
So, so shout out to the honeybees. We got you, girls. We're behind you. We're with you. We stand with you. And I wish I could, you know, maybe go see them sometime and throw my support at them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I'll take the last one. This is a really great story. It's out of Detroit. Detroit High School, Detroit's Cody High School, has celebrated a milestone this past Friday during their homecoming football game. The return of the Cody High School marching band after a 20-year absence.
20 years.
Crap.
Wow.
You know, there was a grant, an arts grant given to the school, and called the out of school time grant, secured by the Detroit Public Schools Community District Foundation, which helped rebuild the program, securing instruments and recruiting members. They made their first performance at the halftime. In this interview, they interviewed a lot of the student members, and they were saying that they were really nervous, but they were so excited after they performed.
Yeah.
And they were just wearing the school T-shirts. It says Cody versus everybody. So very much.
Yeah, that's so great. I love it.
And but they went out there and they did their thing, and hopefully this is the start of a rich tradition that they build upon there. They said that they have some really ambitious plans in the future, that they want to go to the Martin Luther King Day parade in Florida next year. I sincerely hope that they do. And if any member from the Cody High School Marching Band is here, is listening to our podcast, if you guys do a fundraiser, we will definitely, I personally will definitely help out to get you guys down there. So
Sure.
I just love it when groups can come back.
Right.
Yeah, after that long too.
Right.
I watched that same clip of that, and I just could. There's so many of those little performers. They're high school kids, but like they're like, all eyes are on me. That one color guard girl was like, all eyes are on me. It's like, yes, but it's just like, but you're doing it.
Yeah,
you are doing it, and honestly, to have that many kids, I mean, I think they said like 20 some kids were on the field.
Yeah,
that's still a big deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That hasn't been in the culture of that school for so long.
I know. And it's just going to really help with the entire culture of the school. And the football team will probably appreciate it as well, to have the band cheering, to have the band playing their fight song, the school spirit songs, to help their football team when they go score a touchdown. So I'm all for it. I think
I'm wondering if that marching band isn't a sign. I'm wondering if that marching band isn't another sign of the return of Detroit. Detroit has been this bombed out Rust Belt town for so long, and it's really showing signs of rebirth. And maybe the marching band is part of that.
Absolutely. It would be great. I wonder if any of the Detroit Lions football team people listen to the On a Water Break podcast, and could reach out to Cody High School to get them to come play during halftime at
Dan Campbell, where are you?
Detroit Lions football game. I'm looking at you, Dan Campbell. Just saying. Anyway.
Good idea.
So now it's time for your Peak Group Travel Tip of the Week, brought to you by our sponsors at Peak Group Travel, helping you navigate your next adventure, whether it's across the country or just to your next competition.
Hi, everyone. It's time for your travel tip of the week with me. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel. Are you traveling with delicate or oversized instruments? Be sure to check with your bus company or your airline for any extra fees that you may incur, or any climate-specific needs you have for your instruments. A little extra legwork before you leave could help you avoid costly repairs when you arrive. Don't forget to like and follow Peak Group Travel on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to email info@peakgrouptravel.com when you're ready to start planning your next performance tour. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel, and your travel tip of the week. Ready to elevate your travel game? Welcome to Peak Group Travel, the ultimate adventure creators. Whether you're planning an unforgettable class trip, a once-in-a-lifetime parade experience for your marching band, or a choir tour full of memorable performance venues, Peak Group Travel handles it all, so you can focus on making memories. From breathtaking international destinations to amazing adventures right here at home, Peak Group Travel customizes every journey to your vision. We're not just planners, we're your partners for the trip you want for your students. Our online registration portal makes managing your pre-trip experience smooth and convenient. We even collect your payments if you'd like. Picture it: effortless planning, unmatched experiences, and smiles that last long after the journey ends. That's the Peak Group Travel difference. And if you choose to partner with Peak on your next tour, and you mention that you heard about us on the On a Water Break podcast, you'll earn a $100 trip credit. Discover why groups everywhere trust Peak Group Travel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to visit peakgrouptravel.com today. You pick the date, and we'll make it great.
It's time. It's time for everyone's favorite segment. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
This is the part of the show where we let loose a little bit, or maybe a lot of bit, This is your chance to rant about something in the marching arts that just doesn't make sense. Maybe it's a tradition that needs to go. Maybe it's a habit that performers can't seem to break. Maybe it's something that makes you think, why are we even doing this? Or why haven't we started doing this? Whatever it is, this is your moment to call it out. So, who's got something that they need to get off their chest? Nicole.
So fun that you came to me. I think first I'm going to say, Trish, what are we doing with you on the podcast and you not doing your own intro?
Oh, you mean I should have done it live?
I would have loved that. That's not my what are we doing though. So I just wanted to say that. Because every time you're on, I'm like, oh, it's time for what are we doing? Trish, do it. Do the thing. Do the thing.
What are we doing?
Yes. But I think my what are we doing? And every time I always go off of like either a show that I've gone to or where I've been, to say something. And I was in a different part of the United States this past weekend. And I think my biggest what are we doing right now? And excuse me, I'll just apologize right now if I brought this up before, but we're getting into that part of the season where performance is everything. I can get it where everyone is trying to be very technically sound and like point one's over here and like, hey, my horn pops up at this point too. And a lot of marching bands are doing non-hats and they're going non-traditional with what they're wearing for a show. Perform and let them know that you're not going to be always hidden. Perform more. Projection is going to be key. And I call this your expressive window. Open up that window and let the sun shine in, folks. Kids,
Agreed.
I'll also say too, like if you're not going to wear a shako, if you're not going to wear your band hat, then you actually have to like use your eyes and try to connect with the audience, which is really hard for high school kids to do. So maybe put on, if you're going to wear your band uniform, put on your shako.
Absolutely.
That's just me. That's just me though. I'll go next. What are we doing programming culturally insensitive programs?
Oh, and people in the back, please.
I'm not going to name the name of the ensemble, but I'm not even going to name what they did. But let's just say that I got to see a show recently about a very popular Netflix show that focuses around contestants and games.
Oh,
what are we doing? What are we doing?
And I've seen, and here's the thing, that's not, and it's not like I saw one like that last year, not like your show, but a culture appropriated. And then they came in to critique, and I'm just like,
what are you doing?
What do you say? So yeah. No, I get that. I completely get that.
And I don't know if this was the band directors and the design team going to the kids and say, hey, what kind of show do you guys want to do? And they said, this show. And they thought, oh, that'd be really cool. And the costuming was there and they had props and the whole thing. And they didn't actually glorify the outcome of said game of this Netflix show, which will remain nameless. But still, the idea of what that show entails was there. And I'm just, amongst myself and my other colleagues, it was really hard to give comments because we were just so flabbergasted by that. So I think, what are we doing? Let's pick more age appropriate show concepts. I don't know. Please. Sam, I know that you are not of the band world, but you have put yourself in that world to write.
I am not, Chris, but I noticed one thing that, given that I appreciate the contribution communities and American culture of band, I would hate to see the essential elements that are so powerful of band be corroded. And when I was watching two now band championships, I got the feeling that band was becoming a little bit too much like football. Meaning there was this ferocious feeling of we have to win at all costs. We have no time for anything but band and props. Now, I know that props have become the big deal, and first time I saw props on a field, I was going, what the hell is that? Because I don't know. I don't know, right? But to me, props have nothing to do or very little to do. Someone have to explain it to me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The connection between props and playing your instrument well, creating a unified, beautiful, powerful sound, and marching in together in synchronization with all your fellow bandmates. I find that to be, and the work that goes into that is profound. I understand, and should be. It should not be easy. But to me, it felt like watching these props, what it really says is our district has more money than yours does.
Oh
my goodness.
And to me, it was like, I don't see the point.
Not wrong.
I don't see the point. I watched Roma on the field at this one. I won't say what other props the other teams had that would give them,
Yep.
But Roma doesn't have a lot of money, right? And so it played Rhapsody in Blue, portions of Rhapsody in Blue, and it had panels of fabric that were blue, 20 foot long, 4 feet wide. That was it. That paled in comparison to the other props that were on the field that day. And my feeling is the more band tries to be like football, the more, and this is Texas, so we know Texas high school football is manic, and band can be manic in Texas, sounds like to me, from what I've been told.
Indeed.
It tries to be like football, the more it risks losing what is beautiful, essential elements it has to contribute to kids' lives, to the community. And again, keeping in mind that we don't know how well the band did for another 10 years.
Right.
That's the crucial thing.
Well said the non-band person.
Exactly. Right. And I watched it and I kept on asking, why you guys have these props? What's that about?
Right.
Well, I think we should get Sam in the judging community. I think he'd do really well as like a G judge. Shoot.
Props, -5.
I'm going to go really quick.
Okay.
So we're in Winter Guard Winds indoor percussion audition season right now. So just do me a favor, please, those of you who are listening. Okay, if you are not returning to the unit that you had performed with, especially more than 1 year, and you're contracted elsewhere, congratulations. We're happy for you. That's amazing that you moved on. Send me an email or send the group that you were with an email and just say, I decided that, I auditioned for X and I accepted a spot there. Thank you for everything you did over the last 2 years or however many years you've been in the Guard. It's just a good life practice.
Yep.
It's just, it's happening to me right now. It happens to other people. And I know somebody who did that. That person's now an AMP and has been an AMP for a couple of years. I don't mind shouting him out because he's such a great kid. When he left the group he started out with, he sent them an email. And he was a captain of that group. And he sent them an email and said, I've decided to move on. Thank you for everything you've done over the past X amount of years. It's just good life practice. I can't leave my job tomorrow and go work someplace else without telling them that I'm leaving. To me, it's just a good life skill. It still hurts. It still stings. You wanted everybody to come back. But at least you feel like you were respected and appreciated and everything that you did for that person was appreciated. It's just short, quick email. You don't have to go into detail. Just good life practice.
Common courtesy.
Yes. Yes.
Goes a long way.
Yes, it does.
All right. So now that we've got that off our chest, let's go into our Gush and Goes. So welcome to Gush and Go. This is your chance to shout out.
Good job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
That was me.
It was a quick intro. I didn't want to interrupt you there, Chris.
That's okay. This is your chance to shout out something awesome happening in your life, the marching arts related or not. Maybe you're excited about a performance, a student success, a big life event, or just something really cool you want to brag about. So no negativity here, just pure unfiltered hype. Who's got something they want to gush about?
I'll be happy to.
Go ahead, Sam. You got the floor.
Writers, when you publish a book, it's very much like you just had a baby. Okay, I've written 5 now. Okay, so I know, And so this new bouncing 4-pound bouncing baby book entered our lives last week. The Perfect Tuba. It is a labor of the most beautiful love that I had to give towards a project. I loved every minute of doing it and loved getting deep into tuba player culture and band culture in this country and realized how important it all was. So this book just came out, and to me, this is like kind of dominated my life over the last week or so, and will for the next month as I continue to promote it and so on. Anyway, just wanted to thank you all so much for having me on your podcast, and this is my Dutch.
Awesome. We really appreciated having you on our podcast as well.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. It was really, really great. I hope you all get the chance to read it. I'm going to say mine because I got to duck out of here. And my gush and go is, hey, I'm living in Virginia now. We made the big move from California, and we are now in our house. This is the new. It's still in progress. Don't look over. Don't look over there. We have made it to our new home. It is wonderful. We're having a wonderful time. And Virginia, man, you have humidity, but you are beautiful. So it's great to be here in Northern Virginia. I'm 3 hours from my mom, and just loving every minute of it.
That's awesome.
Virginia is for lovers, and I'm originally from Virginia, so
yes.
East Coast.
I guess I could say that my gush and go is pretty much, I've just started working for myself and like doing basically program coordinating for a bunch of different groups. We're not even out of the marching band season yet, and I've already started with a handful of winter programs and starting that up. So
good.
It's really exciting when you can give so much of your life to this marching arts activity and then like have it be what you do full time. And anytime, I'm like, oh, but you're so busy. I'm like, this is the good kind of busy. It's okay. This is the good kind of stress. It is okay. So just gushing and going about the more people I'm going to meet and how many more shows we're going to put out.
Yeah.
Excellent. I have one. It's a sad story, but I want to focus on the positive of it in my gush and go. Got the news late last night that a good friend, somebody Nicole knows, I think Chris might as well. Mm-hmm. My really good friend, Mike Allencourt, passed away last night. But I want to focus on the good things that he accomplished. And he was a cadet. He was in Pride of Cincinnati, Field of View. He was in Patriots. He was in a lot of really good world-class programs. In recent years, he was famous for being the old guy dancing with Post Malone. And bye, Chris. And all righty. He was actually on Ellen DeGeneres' show. He did a video. He was taking hip-hop classes later in life. A video that the studio made went viral. Yep. And he took him to Ellen DeGeneres. He had an audition with Amazing Race. I was out to dinner with him with a whole bunch of people from up here in New Jersey. He came up from Florida a couple of summers ago, and we were at a Chili's, and the waiter sent another person over to the table because he was too afraid to ask and said, my friend wants to know, you the guy in the Post Malone video? So he accomplished so many amazing things. He was at my house so many times because we marched Bushwhackers and Brigadiers together because he just wanted to be with all our friends. And, Michael, we love you. We're going to miss you. Nicole and I have been chatting about you too privately. She has so many fond memories of you from Patriots. And we love you. Mwah. This is to you.
Yeah. Man. Chris, that was beautiful. That was really beautiful.
Thank you.
Goodness. Well, I just want to say on Chris's behalf, thanks everyone for a great rehearsal this week. And thank you to everyone who was spending time with us today. Trish, always good to see you. Chris.
Always good.
Always good to see him too. Sam, can you just shout out your socials and where people can find and pick up your book?
Sure. You can find The Perfect Tuba at Amazon and any other independent bookstore all over the country. By now, bookshop.org is one place to go. Basically, you can find all my contact information at my website, which is just samquinones.com, SAMQUINONES.com. nones.com. I'm on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and then la-di-da, all that stuff. But the best place to go to see all of that is probably my website.
Perfect. Thanks so much again. So if you have a question or a good topic to talk about, email us at onawatorbreakpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us on social media. DM us if you want to be on the show. We have a form that you can fill out if you want to be a guest, and we'd love to have people on. So just check that out. Our link is in the bio on all of our social media. Or you could just take your phone out, make a video, and send it to us, and you could find yourself in the shenanigans with us on a water break. One more thing, don't forget that we are on YouTube now, so you can actually see us. Make sure you subscribe and you can see everything there. And before you close out of your podcast listening app, go subscribe, write us a review, share it with a friend or foe, and follow us on social media at On a Water Break. And we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Reams. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.